You may end your life now, as Mark advises, so let that dictate your words and deeds. Remember that life is brief, and act and think as though you were dying. I think Marcus Aurelius is maybe the most fascinating person who ever lived. You know, we have this idea that absolute power corrupts absolutely. But Marcus is the exception to this rule. He's not born to a royal family. He's chosen as a young man, actually, at the same age as Nero, and groomed for power. And what is the first thing he does with the power? He shares it with his brother. So I've been on this journey studying Marcus Aurelius since I first read Meditations, and it changed my life, and it's changed the life of millions of people in the 2,000 years since he lived. I'm Ryan Holiday. I've written out 12 books. I've been writing about Marcus Aurelius for more than a decade. I've been lucky enough to talk about Mark Shorleys to the NBA and the NFL Special Forces, to sitting senators, to CEOs, and everyone in between. And in today's episode, I wanted to give you some of my favorite lessons from the one and only Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king. If you want to learn about the great principles and ideas that this man lived by, I think this video is for you. 1. Prioritize people. My favorite Marcus Aurelius tale takes place during the midst of the terrible Antonine disease, a pandemic that claims millions of lives. Rome's economy has collapsed, people are dying in the streets, and everyone believes that nothing can possibly improve. So what does Marcus Aurelius do? He enters the imperial palace and starts marking items for sale. For 2 months he sells the jewels, robes, couches, and other finery that belong to the great emperor on the palace lawn. He's sending a message that, I'm not going to put myself first. I don't need these fancy things, and when people are struggling, I'm going to do the little things that make a difference to me. This is comparable to the CEO who takes a pay cut in a weak economy, the athlete who renegotiates their contract so the team can hire new members, the leader who struggles and sacrifices and puts the needs and comfort of the people before their own. That is the essence of brilliance, which is why I adore this account of Marcus Aurelius too. There's always another way. Although you may believe that you are trapped, the Stoics wanted you to understand that although one road may be closed, another is still open. When something gets in the way of progress, it becomes the obstacle. Marcus Aurelius isn't saying that nothing can ever stop you. He's saying that when you're stopped in one capacity, there remains other capacities open to you. You always have the opportunity to practice virtue, practice excellence, to change in some form or another based on what's happening. We don't control what happened, we control how we respond. That's what Stoic philosophy is about. So yes, one path can be closed, a door can be shut, but the window remains open. You know, someone gets in your way, someone blocks you, someone prevents you. Sure, that happens, but they can't stop you from being patient. They can't stop you from practicing forgiveness. They can't stop you from going in a different direction, from changing your mind, trying something new, growing because of this learning. Because of it, the Stoics say, no one prevents us from accommodating, adapting, changing, integrating the experiences, the obstacles that are in our path, and turning them into new paths. That's what the obstacle is. The way it is, it's impossible to get stuck because we always retain our ability to choose and change. 3. Proceed step by step. We have the facts and know what needs to be done correctly. The challenge is in carrying it out. Marcus genuinely suggests that you could be good today, but you decide to put it off until tomorrow. We say things like, I'm going to start cleaning the house. I'm going to starting on the diet. I'm going to starting on the novel. I'm not going to do it today. I'm going to do it tomorrow. If it were about information, nobody would be overweight and nobody would be unhealthy. Every job would be finished and everyone would have six-pack abs because we know how to accomplish it. At the end of the day, it's all about the action. It doesn't matter what you say or think. It matters what you do. What action are you going to take? What step are you going to take? Because we don't do it. We don't take the steps. That's why the Stoics have the discipline of action. In fact, that's how you finish things step by step. Just take the first step. No one can stop you from that, according to Marcus. Discard your anxiety. It takes an immense amount of self-awareness to go like, I'm feeling discomforted because of X, or I'm feeling anxious because of X. You know, I think that was something for me that I found during the pandemic where suddenly I wasn't doing anything, so I wasn't having to get to this plane. I wasn't stuck in traffic here. I wasn't having to prepare for this or that. And so you'd think that my anxiety would go way down, that suddenly you'd have a lot less to worry about. And then actually, that's not true. And then you realize, oh, the anxiety has nothing to do with any of the things. It's actually, Marcus Aurelius talks about this in Meditations. He says, I escaped anxiety. And then he goes, no, actually, I discarded it. And he writes this during a plague, no less. But he goes, I discarded it because it was within me that was a breakthrough. I was like, oh, I thought I was stressed and anxious and worried because of all of these very reasonable things that cause those things in your life, work, family stuff. And then when all that gets pared down, you realize it's like, oh no, it's me. 5. Well started is half done. Marcus Aurelius has a better morning routine than you, I promise. So he gets up early, even though he doesn't want to get up early. Even though he doesn't have to get up early, he makes himself get up early. He says, what were you made to sit here under the covers and keep warm? Were you meant to go do the work of a human being? So he gets up early and he goes, and he does his work. And what is the first thing he do? I think that he sits down with his journal. Meditation survives to us because it's the private thoughts of the most powerful man in the world. He wrote down these thoughts because they made him better. And then what did he do? He got to work on his most important task of the day. He says, concentrate like a Roman. He says, do this as if it's the last thing you're doing in your life. That's what Marcus Aurelius did. His morning routine set him up for success. He didn't approach the day at random. He knew that well begun is half done, and so should you start your day with a morning routine that lets you own the day from the beginning. 6th, be hard on yourself. We refer to it as self-discipline. You joined up for it because no one else did, so you're learning, studying, and improving yourself. You must be certain that you are only using this on yourself. Marcus really advises to be understanding of other people. Being severe with oneself is not meant to make you condescending, patronizing, or domineering of others. Rather, it is meant to help you become a greater master of yourself. There's a reason it's called self-discipline. If you put your own discipline first, you'll leave everyone else and their errors and methods to them. Don't be angry with others. You can't read Meditations and not notice that Marx detested people. In fact, he begins each one with a meditation on how annoying other people are, along with this notion. This concept of the obstacle is how he talks about other people and how they get in our way and present obstacles. But he also says that there is a chance to actually put this philosophy into practice by saying that you believe to be good in spite of other people, to be just in the face of injustice, to be temperate in the face of intemperance that is being rewarded, to be courageous when everyone else is being cowardly and getting rewarded for it. For the Stoics, people are frustrating because they are obstacles, but they are also challenges that we can rise to meet and become better for overcoming other people's struggles. So don't be angry. Instead, use them to improve yourself. Is this essential, you ask? You and I are both busy, but it really matters how much of what we are occupied with. Marcus is absolutely correct when he advises asking yourself if everything you say and do is necessary, because the most of what we say and do is not. Most of the things we do are because people asked us to do them, told us to do them, or that's how we've always done them. If we found out we were dying tomorrow, would we continue doing them the way we are? He says that when you ask yourself, is this essential? You get rid of a lot of things that you don't need to be doing, and you also get the double benefit of doing fewer things better. For this reason, you ask yourself, is this essential? Do I actually need to be doing it? Am I doing it the way that it needs to be done? For everything you do, say, and think. 9. Keep in mind these first mantras. The idea of a more obese person is that this didn't happen to you. Rather, it happened for you. Accept it, embrace it, bear it, and make something of it. A fire transforms everything into fuel and brightness, which is a more fatty number 2, according to Marx. It all comes down to what you do for other people. Good character and actions for the common good are the true fruits of this life, according to Marcus. The Stoics were not attempting to learn this philosophy in order to become better sociopaths, increase their wealth for their own benefit, or gain more notoriety. Rather, they were interested in what they did for other people. Do you help your community, your nation, or humanity? Number 3. This provides context for the other 2. Memento mori. You could end your life now, as Mark undoubtedly advises, and let that dictate your words and deeds. Remember that life is brief, and act and think as though you were dying. Marcus asserts that life is fleeting, and that the pandemic has served as a reminder to live each day to the fullest. These are 3 excellent teachings from Stone philosophy that you can use now. You can subscribe to our daily Stoic email, which offers 1 free email every morning with the best Stoic wisdom, if you would like to study more about Stoic philosophy in its entirety for free. dailystoic.com